Courtesy of the department, Herb. The commissioner's going all out this year.
I wouldn't be surprised if the policeman's ball hit the society pages this year, John.
You know, I wondered why you accepted that invitation so fast. Oh, nice fit, huh?
You could wheedle information out of a gangster's mall in that outfit, John. It's a shame you're off duty. Come on.
You and your clients.
Hello? It's for you, John. Headquarters.
Weston. Yes, Commissioner. I see. Yes, sir, right away. Well, a fellow can always use a tuxedo, I guess. Thanks, Jerry. Mildred White, 8th elderly hit-and-run victim this month. I'm beginning to think I got a bloodthirsty maniac on my hands.
Anybody see the car that hit her?
Nobody around when it happened. The guy got out, walked back, see what kind of a job he had done. But for a change, Herb, somebody got the license number.
Night of the policeman's ball. A very special occasion, happily anticipated and carefully planned for by my friend and host, Lieutenant Weston, complete with tuxedos, boutonnieres, and something he hadn't planned for. The first break in a mysterious hit-and-run case that had snuffed out 8 lives in a month. The license number of a suspect traced to Douglas Manning, 1220 Hanson Street.
Okay. I was driving along, and I saw her lying there on the pavement, face down. She wore a flowered dress. I thought about that. It was the kind that old ladies wear when they want attention. I thought about that, too.
Go on, Manning.
Well, I wondered how she'd feel about the kind of attention she was going to get. I stopped. I wanted to help.
Why didn't you?
Well, she was dead.
Did you feel her pulse? Why didn't you call an ambulance? Maybe she wasn't dead yet.
Would you call an ambulance if somebody was running down the street yelling murderer after you? I told you, I stopped because I wanted to help.
Manning, you aren't beginning to melt my ice-encrusted heart. I want the truth from you. If I don't get it here, I'll get it at headquarters.
I was under the impression I was paying my taxes to help support a police force that would protect my rights, not usurp them. Look, you walk in here like you're in a hurry to go to a wedding. And you make an accusation that could ruin my life and my family's.
The lieutenant wasn't accusing you, Mr. Manning. He was looking for the truth. The police are obligated to protect everybody, not just you.
I never should have opened that door. I never had the proper respect for lawyers. They're the only ones that know how to deal with you people.
Well, I wouldn't want you to think that your taxes were being wasted, Manning. You have a big advantage here for free. Mr. Maris here is an attorney. He can tell you exactly what your rights are.
You mean you're not a policeman?
No, I'm, something of an innocent victim myself.
Well, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to blast off like that.
Well, I suggest you extend your apology to the lieutenant. He was off duty tonight. He's been looking forward to wearing this wedding outfit to the policeman's ball for quite some time. But nobody had to persuade him to change his plans.
How can a man do so many wrong things in one day?
Well, you can start doing some right things by answering my questions. Were there any other cars on the street? Was there anybody else near the body?
I don't remember anything except seeing her lying there. Look, what about my car? Now, if I hit her, wouldn't there be blood on it?
There would be, if you hadn't wiped it off. We're checking it.
Is that the end of it, Mr. Maris? Can they convict me on the basis of evidence like this?
Well, it depends on you, your jury, your lawyer, a number of things.
Do you believe me, Mr. Maris? Enough to defend me?
want no more temper tantrums, and I'll expect you to cooperate with the police.
Get your coat, Manning.
You're going to take me down to police headquarters? Well, my wife, she took the kids to the movies.
Look, I'll wait outside for her.
Morning after?
You could put it that way.
You two night errands must have had a fine evening. The lieutenant called. Said he spent the night at the morgue. What's your story?
I helped put 3 little kids to bed. Spent half the night talking their mother out of hysteria. Went home and closed my eyes for 4 hours without sleeping. Does that answer your question? Hello, John. Any news about Manning's car?
Yeah, Herb, the car is clean, but if I get any more cooperation, I'm going to begin feeling guilty asking him questions. Looks like we may release him this afternoon.
You've got a warm heart, Lieutenant.
Herb, I feel more like I've got a soft head after reading the coroner's report. Mildred White, 68, single. Had enough alcohol in her blood to light up 3 old maids. I wouldn't be surprised if she hit the car. Herb?
I'm absorbing the impact. Have you questioned your family?
No family, same as the other 7 victims. However, there is a fiancé. I haven't talked to him yet.
What about the coroner's reports on the other victims?
Let me see. Alcohol and/or barbiturates present but negligible. Death result of injuries.
I wonder what a man's car looks like after it's hit 8 people.
Well, the car could look all right, Herb. We estimate the speed at the moment of impact between 20 and 25 miles an hour. Enough to knock the victim down and throw them under the wheels, but not enough to seriously damage the car. Now, if it's an older model, it probably has dents on it, and you wouldn't even look twice.
And being elderly, the victims moved slower, were easier to hit, and stood less chance of surviving. I'd say it's a pattern.
Up to that point, yes, and that brings us up to a not-so-usual aspect of the case. There was blood on Mildred White's hand, and clinging to the palm of her hand was some confetti. Now, I'm going to have a talk with her boyfriend. You interested?
Call me before you leave. I'll be waiting downstairs.
You tell that,
The coroner.
yeah. You tell him to leave the dead be. Instead of passing judgment on things he don't know anything about. Millie White had a beautiful, lovely soul.
Nobody's trying to impugn the quality of Millie's soul, Mr. Montgomery.
Trying to. It's been done. You suppose she don't know what you fellas are thinking about?
Mr. Montgomery, there's one thing I haven't told you. There was some confetti on Millie White's hands. Red confetti.
Red?
Where did she get the confetti, Mr. Montgomery?
Why, I reckon at the Grand Pavilion Ballroom. She come home a couple of times smelling mighty peculiar. Punch parties, I think they called it.
Is that a dance hall?
Dance hall? Millie, bad is bad. Don't you go making things worse. It's a dancing school. By golly, she did tell me there was going to be a party. Chucked me under the chin and giggled like a gal going to the first prom.
Mr. Montgomery, can you tell me anything else? Was she going to meet somebody there afterwards? Somebody that might have been with her when the accident occurred?
No, I don't think so. Excepting she was going to take out a life membership. Hey, I never thought of that. You fellas find any money on her?
About 25 cents. Why?
Why? She walked out of here with her purse dragging like she was hauling away the mint. Closed her savings account, too.
How much did she have with her?
$5,000 cash. It wouldn't be so bad if she'd only lived to use it. It was her burial money.
Hello.
Oh, hello there.
Uh-huh. Bashful today. A lion tomorrow. Maybe you'd like to brush up on your foxtrot.
You just convinced me.
Well,
A new friend, Miss,
Flame, sweetie.
Miss...
Flame O'Neill. I, instruct.
I bet you do.
Glory be. It's his image. Oh, goodbye. Oh, let me look at you. Oh, you even got Huey's eyes. Oh, is this your first time?
Who's Huey?
Oh, he's my late husband. He passed on about 6 months ago. Oh, how that man could dance. Do you cha-cha?
I'm sorry, Lieutenant Weston is a policeman.
Oh.
Mrs.
Longacre. Hildegard Longacre. Oh, imagine you're a policeman and me asking you if you cha-cha.
Well, you needn't apologize, Mrs. Longacre. As a matter of fact.
As a matter of fact, you'd love to learn. Oh, I knew it. I knew it. You had that forward look about you. I could tell, just like Huey had. Oh, I tell you, with a few lessons, Lieutenant, you'll wow them at the policeman's ball. Come on, get with the boys.
Mrs. Longacre, do you work here?
Work here? Heavens, no. I'm a student.
Well, I should have known.
Oh, I have a lifetime membership. Oh, I tell you, 5,000, and you get lessons twice a week with a punch party thrown in. I'm paying on the installment plan. You get more attention that way.
Mrs. Longacre, there are...
Excuse me, gentlemen. Hilda, my dear, were you aware they're playing a cha-cha?
Are they? The boss's son.
Good evening, gentlemen. I understand you from the police. I'm Mark Devlin, the owner and proprietor of the Grand Pavilion.
Yes, I am from the police. I'm Lieutenant Weston. This is Mr. Maris, a lawyer.
How do you do?
Devlin?
How may I assist you?
One of your students was killed in an automobile accident yesterday. Mildred White. She was returning home from your studio when it happened.
Millie White? Oh, but that's unbelievable. She always seemed absolutely indestructible. Well, at least the last few hours of her life were filled with laughter. She was with friends.
Did she leave here alone?
Yes, I suggested calling a cab, but she was a little, well, unsteady, but she just sailed off.
Exactly what do you mean by unsteady?
Well, it hardly seems right to reflect poorly upon the dead. Oh, dear soul, my.
Mr. Devlin...
The lady overindulged, sir, and I would rather not go into it.
I'm afraid you're going to have to go into it. When Mildred White left her home yesterday, she had $5,000 cash with the intention of purchasing a lifetime membership here at your studio. But when her body was found, the money was missing from her purse.
But we discontinued the life membership plan 2 weeks ago. She didn't say a word about the money.
Of course, there's always the possibility her death was premeditated, considering the missing $5,000.
Or that the person who struck her lacked a conscience. Robbing the dead. Oh, dear me. Hideous thought. Well, you will let me know if I can do something. Flowers or...
Yes, we'll let you know.
Thank you.
I know. She didn't spend it at the studio, and it wasn't in her purse. Which explains Manning's flight from the scene and clinches an indictment on theft.
I'm not ruling out murder, Herb. He could have an accomplice.
One by one, the hours slip away. A free man forgets to notice. Douglas Manning had been behind bars for 38 creeping hours, protesting his innocence. And he'd posed a troubling question. What kind of world has this become where a man can't help someone without jeopardizing his freedom?
Casey, I've got the conscience of the world wedged between my shoulders.
Well, I just wish that you spend as much time and energy encouraging your God-given masculine talents as you do pursuing justice.
So do I.
And you're just as bad.
What's the matter with her?
Doug Manning. He's interfering with our night errantry.
And that's not all he's interfering with, Herb. I need a good night's sleep. I spent all night in the records division.
What did you find?
Oh, nothing much. All 8 victims had recently depleted bank accounts, and they were all members of the Grand Pavilion Dance Studio.
The pattern again. 8 trusting old people persuaded to rise up out of their lethargy and live again. Youth everlasting for $5,000 with free punch parties thrown in. Quite an appeal.
You know, Herb, if I looked as old as I feel, I'd make a perfect candidate.
What'd you say?
I said it.
Never mind. Casey? Casey?
I heard you the first time.
Casey, do you know how to cha-cha?
Me?
It's my personal opinion that you've been spending too much time in the office.
And you have fine potential, but you'd have to get over that shyness and learn to express yourself.
Just how long do you think it would take me to learn how to express myself?
Well, a person spends a lifetime becoming an individual. Depends on how much you can afford to spend on expanding your interests.
Well, it's not the money that I'm concerned with. You see, I'm alone now. And that's what money's for, isn't it? To take care of the important things?
Oh, Mrs. Halloran, it's refreshing to find someone with real values. Frankly, I'd suggest the life membership plan. Pay the whole thing off and get it over with.
It's a wonderful idea.
And I'd also suggest enrolling in an evening class. You have starlight music from 10 to 11. Punch parties twice a week.
How charming.
Oh, Mrs. Halloran.
Yes.
And how did we do?
Oh, Mr. Devlin, I am simply overwhelmed. I never realized a person could reveal so much when they use their feet.
Oh, but my dear lady, it's more than the feet, it's everything. A beautiful dancer is a soul release.
Mrs. Halloran has decided to take some lessons. I'll sign her up.
I'm afraid you're going to see an awful lot of me, Mr. Devlin. I'm buying a life membership.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Halloran, but apparently my son neglected to tell you we're no longer offering the lifetime membership plan. But I'm sure that we can work out something suitable to your needs. Now, if you'll just come with me.
But Mr. Devlin.
Yes?
I'm sorry, but I'm afraid I'll have to transfer some of my money from my savings account into my checking account. But I could give you part of it in cash right now. It's like a sort of down payment.
No. I should prefer a check for the full amount. That will protect the both of us, Mrs. Halloran.
Yes, I see. Well, then, I'll stop around tomorrow night. Good night.
Be a good girl.
Thank you. Good night.
Well, what happened?
I have a trouble spot. I'm shy.
What?
I have difficulty expressing myself. They're no longer offering life memberships, and they won't take cash. It's a good thing you two didn't have to go through analysis. But cheer up, I'm not out of the spider's web yet. They're going to think of something suitable for me tomorrow evening.
You're early. We're not due to the Grand Pavilion until 7 o'clock. Where's Casey?
I wish I knew. She withdrew $5,000 from her savings account and left this note on her withdrawal slip.
Urgent. Contact Herbert Maris' attorney immediately regarding life membership.
Apparently, the dance studio worked out something suitable.
Well, life can be dreary or divine, depending upon the human's part. See? An empty glass suddenly bubbles with life. Simple and beautiful.
And expensive. You know, I feel just like a young bride on the eve of her nuptials.
A toast, Mrs. Halloran, to your refusal to grow old.
Oh, I'm sorry. But yesterday I was alone. And today, I don't know how I'll ever be able to thank you for taking such an interest in me. revoking your rules so that I can become a lifetime member, and waiting all morning for me to come home, and then taking me to the bank, and now entertaining me like this.
Well, I'm going to have to slip off. I have a few chores to do before the evening classes start. Oh, I better take that $5,000 down to the studio and put it in the safe.
You're right. You should. It belongs in the safe. But I just feel so extravagant walking around with it clutched in my hand. I guess it's the human spark acting up.
Well, take good care of Mrs. Howler and Ronnie. And I'll see you both later. Bye.
You've hardly touched your champagne, Mrs. Halloran. Let me put some bubbles in it.
You know, Mr. Devlin, these new dance steps are a real challenge. Why, last week, I would never have dreamed of being able to do the cha-cha and the rock and roll. And now, I can just hardly wait to master the whip-flash bounce. I wonder if they've got it on the jukebox.
Allow me, Mrs. Halloran.
Oh, thank you.
I had no idea what they were doing until yesterday when you told me about Millie White, and Ronnie made such a fuss about taking her home, I knew he was responsible.
Weren't you a little curious about what happened to the other 7 students?
We have a constant turnover, Mr. Morris. Millie White was the kind of person you remember, but I couldn't begin to keep track of the number of people we have in our files. That's one of the reasons that I discontinued the life membership plan. We were beginning to accumulate too many people.
Who refused to die?
Yes, that's true, but for that reason I didn't advertise the fact.
So your son and Miss O'Neill took advantage of it and continued to solicit and dispose of members, 8 of them. Now they're working on the 9th. Devlin, if anything happens to Mrs. Halloran that you could have prevented...
But he gave me his word. I did everything I could to prevent...
Except call the police.
He's my son. Don't you understand?
Devlin, you're wasting valuable time. Now, do you or don't you want to prevent another murder?
There's a bar my son likes. I suppose that's where they'd take her. I guess I'm pretty involved in this now, aren't I?
Yes, you're involved, Devlin.
Where's the bar?
Why, Mr. Devlin, I do believe I've let you celebrate too much.
Oh, I'll pick up when I get out on the dance floor.
That's the spirit. We're not going to let a few bubbles interfere with our human sparks, are we? Should we call a taxi?
No, it's only a few blocks. I think I better do a little walking.
Of course, Mr. Devlin. Just lean on me.
No, that won't be necessary, Mrs.
But
Howard.
I insist I'd never forgive myself if anything happened to you. How much farther is it?
Not very far.
Okay, let's go.
That's Flame's car.
Look out, come on.
Did I hit him?
No, he's just asleep. I think I slipped him a mickey.
I don't relish breaking the news to the lifetime members.
Well, it can't all be pleasure, John. After all, you got rid of Manning, got a good night's sleep, and, if you play your cards right, I have a sneaking suspicion you might be able to wear your new tuxedo before next year's policeman.